Right, so it's time to put the frame in. Got to put the frame together first. So you're going to need a 18 gauge nailer and some wood glue. Put some wood glue across the top so that it jams. That's it. Line it up, make sure it's nice and flush. And try and keep your fingers out of the way because sometimes they do fire out the tops. Put a couple of brads in. Make sure it's nice and flush at the top there. That's it. And then the latch side. That's it. Stand your frame up. And now you're going to get ready for it to be installed. So the way I'll do it is, that's why I'll make sure that stud on the hinge side is plumb. Saves you a heap of trouble if that's plumb. And I'll PL the frame to the stud. So I'm using PL Premium. Put a decent bead down the stud there. You don't want to get too much of this on your hands because it's a nightmare to get off. So you just want to measure where you're putting your brads in. Measure about 2 inches away from that hinge side. That way where you fix will be under your door stops. So it just saves on filling. Make sure it's nice and clean where the bottoms of the jambs are going to go. Put your frame in place. And then you're going to nail the hinge side first. You want to probably get 5 or 6 down that side and line it up. Make sure it's flush with the drywall both sides. This is why it's so important to put nice straight timbers where the door frames are going. I've seen it before where people put in twisted, horrible, nasty timbers where the door frame's going, and it just makes life so much harder. Straight the timbers makes it easy. 6 foot level, make sure it's nice and plumb. If you see any gaps, just slightly move them out. The PL will move out with the frame, so once it dries, it'll be nice and sound. Make sure it's level. That's it. Now you're going to swing your door. So you want to put your door in and then push it away at the top and get the bottom screw in on the top hinge. And you don't want to put it in all the way, you want to leave it out just a slight, just a 1/16 of an inch, leave it out so there's a little bit of wiggle room there. And then get down and do your bottom hinge. And that way that top screw will hold that in place while you screw your bottom hinge in. Now we know this door's got a bit of a bow in it, so that middle hinge is not going to line up perfect. But what you can do is you can just slightly loosen the screws on the door side of the hinge to make sure you can get the frame side in. And put all your screws in now. And then tighten up the door side. And then put your top screws in. So now for the latch side. Right, now for the latch side, so I'm going to measure 2 inches away again. That's where I'm going to fix the brads. That's where I'm going to nail the frame, sorry. That way it'll be under the stops. And I'm just going to pin it temporary in place. So what I'll do before I put the shims in, I'm marking 2 inches away again, so the nail holes will be underneath flush with the drywall. And I'm going to nail it before I put any shims in. I'm going to line it up and make sure it's flush with the drywall. And I'm going to nail it all the way. If I can find them. Top and bottom first, so you know it's straight. And then put the rest of the nails in. That's it. Shims. So you're going to need a red bar or a little crowbar for this. And you can shut your door over. So you can see the reveal between the frame and the door. And then all you're going to do is pry it out very gently so you've got a nice even gap down the side between the door and the frame. And the brads will hold it in place. So close your door over. And now you can adjust the hinge side with your little bar, either a red bar or a little crowbar, just to lever it out where the nails are, and the nails will hold it in place. And then you're going to start shimming it. Probably 4 lots of shims down this side. Once you get your gap right, your reveal on the side of the door and frame, you can start shimming it. You want to put probably 4 lots of shims down that frame. Once they're good, just put a couple of brads through the frame, through the shims. That way it holds it all in place. That's it. And as you go along, just put a couple of brads through the shims to hold them in place. That's it. Make sure you get it all nailed up so it's secure. And keep checking your gaps between the door and the frame. Check your header as well, make sure it's all nice and neat. A little bit time consuming, but you want to get it dead right. You want to get it nice and straight on that frame. Once this part's done, the rest is easy. That's it. Tin of expanding foam, windows and doors. Don't need none on the hinge side because that's been PL'd to the 2x4, the framework. And check that the door is nice and flat against the frame at the top and the bottom as well. You don't want the top of the door hanging out or the bottom of the door hanging out once it's latched. You can get away with a little bit, but not too much. And then foam it. Make sure you get right in there. And I'll fill it up. Yep, make sure you fill all the gaps up in the void with the foam. Across the header. Job done.